What if I told you that within the pages of the most sacred book ever written lies a secret code, a divine blueprint, that has been unlocking endless wealth for those who understand its hidden meaning for thousands of years? What if you discovered tonight that the reason money has eluded you, the reason abundance has felt like a distant dream, is not because God has forsaken you, nor because the universe is against you, but simply because you have never been taught how to read the instructions already written upon your soul? Let me ask you something, and I want you to answer this honestly within the silent chamber of your own heart. Do you truly believe that the infinite intelligence that created the stars, that breathes life into every living creature, that causes the sun to rise without fail, do you believe this same power intended for you to live in lack, in limitation, in the prison of unpaid bills and unfulfilled dreams? The answer, my friend, is an eternal and resounding no. Tonight, I am going to reveal to you what the Bible has been whispering to humanity for ages: the code, the law, the immutable principle that governs the flow of all wealth, all prosperity, all riches into your life. This is not philosophy. This is not wishful thinking. This is divine law, as exact as mathematics, as certain as gravity, as real as the breath moving through your lungs at this very moment. If this message speaks to your spirit, if you feel something stirring within you right now, I invite you to subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification bell so that you never miss another revelation. Press the like button as a declaration to the universe that you are ready to receive. And in the comments below, write these sacred words: I am open to receive endless abundance now. Let your words become your covenant with the infinite. Now, let us begin this journey together into the Bible code to receiving endless dollars. There is a power within you that is older than time itself, more vast than the galaxies, and more intimate than your own heartbeat. This power does not dwell in some distant heaven beyond the clouds. It does not reside in temples made of stone or gold. It lives, it breathes, it pulses within the very center of your being, within that sacred space the ancients called the subconscious mind. You have been given dominion over this power. The book of Genesis speaks clearly when it declares that God made man in his own image and likeness and gave him dominion over all things. What does this mean? It means that you are not a helpless creature tossed about by the winds of fate. You are not a victim of circumstance, of economy, of other people's decisions. You are a creator. You are an heir to the kingdom. And the kingdom, as Jesus revealed, is within you. This is the first principle of the Bible code to receiving endless dollars: the understanding that the source of all wealth is not external. The source is internal. The source is within your own consciousness. The outer world of money, of opportunities, of abundance in all its forms is nothing more than a reflection, a mirror image of what you have accepted as true within the depths of your own subconscious mind. When you truly understand this, your entire life changes. You stop begging. You stop pleading. You stop looking to others for your good. Instead, you turn within, to that infinite storehouse of riches that has been placed within you by the Creator of all life. Let me give you an illustration. There was a man who came to me many years ago, a businessman who had been struggling for 7 years to make his enterprise profitable. He had tried every external method, new marketing strategies, new partnerships, borrowing money, working longer hours. Nothing worked. His debts multiplied. His hope dwindled. When he sat before me, I could see the weight of failure pressing upon his spirit. I asked him a simple question: what do you truly believe about yourself and money? He paused, and then the truth came pouring out. He said, deep down, I believe that wealth is for other people. I believe I am not smart enough, not lucky enough. I believe that no matter what I do, something will always go wrong. There it was, the seed of his misfortune. Not the economy. Not the market. Not his competitors. The seed was planted deep within his own subconscious mind, and that seed had been producing after its own kind for 7 long years. The Bible tells us in Galatians 6 verse 7, "Be not deceived, God is not mocked, for whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap." This is not a threat. This is a statement of immutable law. Your subconscious mind is the garden. Your habitual thoughts and beliefs are the seeds. And the fruits that manifest in your life, wealth or poverty, health or sickness, joy or sorrow, are the inevitable harvest of what you have planted. I taught this man a new way of planting. I gave him a simple affirmation to use every night before sleep and every morning upon waking: infinite intelligence guides me in all my ways. Divine abundance flows to me freely, ceaselessly, and endlessly. I am prosperous in all my affairs. He was skeptical at first, as many are. But desperation has a way of opening the mind to new possibilities. He began to impress these ideas upon his subconscious mind with faith and feeling. Within 3 months, an opportunity arose that he had never anticipated, a partnership with a larger company that not only erased his debts but multiplied his income tenfold. He came back to me with tears in his eyes, not tears of sorrow this time, but tears of wonder and gratitude. Was this magic? Was this luck? No. It was law. The Bible code had worked in his life just as it will work in yours when you learn to apply it correctly. The scripture says in Proverbs 23 verse 7, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." Your heart, in the biblical sense, refers to your subconscious mind, that deep, feeling, believing part of you that accepts impressions and manifests them into your outer experience. This is why Jesus said in Mark 11 verse 24, "What things soever ye desire, when ye pray, believe that ye receive them, and ye shall have them." Notice carefully what this verse teaches. It does not say believe after you see the money in your bank account. It does not say believe when circumstances prove it possible. It says believe that ye receive them, present tense, before the evidence appears. This is the secret of faith. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen, as Hebrews 11 verse 1 declares. Faith is not blind. Faith is the most practical, powerful force in the universe. Faith is the attitude of mind that allows the subconscious to accept an idea as true. And whatever your subconscious accepts as true, it must manifest. It has no choice. It is the law. Florence Scovel Shinn, that great metaphysical teacher of the early 20th century, understood this law deeply. She wrote that the game of life is a game of boomerangs. Our thoughts, deeds, and words return to us sooner or later with astounding accuracy. She taught that you must make the first move, that you must demonstrate your faith by your actions, and that when you do, the universe rushes to support you. This is true. When you plant the seed of wealth consciousness in your subconscious mind and water it with faith, the universe, which is the body of God, begins to rearrange itself to bring your good to you. Opportunities appear. Ideas flash into your mind. The right people cross your path. Doors open that were previously closed. But you must do your part. You must impress the idea with feeling. You must think from the end result, not merely of it. Neville Goddard, another luminary of metaphysical truth, taught this principle with great clarity. He said that to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled is the secret of all success. You must not simply visualize money as something you want in the future. You must feel the reality of already having it now, in your imagination. You must live from that state, not toward it. The imagination is the workshop of God within you. It is the creative faculty through which all things are made manifest. Genesis tells us that God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. This is the creative power of the word, the command spoken with absolute conviction. And you possess this same power. When you speak your word in faith, when you declare with feeling what you desire to be true, your subconscious mind accepts it and begins to externalize it in your life. Let me share with you another illustration. There was a woman, a school teacher, who longed to travel the world but had convinced herself that she could never afford it. Her salary was modest, her bills were many, and she had accepted poverty as her permanent condition. I asked her to begin a simple practice. Every night, before falling asleep, I instructed her to imagine herself in a beautiful foreign city, to see the sights, hear the sounds, feel the excitement and joy of being there. I told her to make it as real as possible in her imagination and to fall asleep in that feeling of fulfillment. She did this faithfully for several months. Then something remarkable happened. An aunt whom she barely knew passed away and left her an unexpected inheritance, enough money not only to travel but to live comfortably for years. She came to me astonished, almost unable to believe what had happened. But I was not astonished. I knew the law. The subconscious mind does not distinguish between what is vividly imagined and what is actually experienced. When she impressed upon her subconscious the feeling of wealth and adventure, it had no choice but to find a way to manifest that reality. The inheritance was simply the means the universe used to fulfill her inner conviction. This is the Bible code in action. This is the secret that Jesus taught when he said in Luke 12 verse 32, "Fear not, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom." The kingdom is not something you must earn through suffering and struggle. It is already yours by divine inheritance. Your only task is to claim it, to accept it, to receive it. But here lies the obstacle for so many: they do not feel worthy to receive. They have been taught since childhood that money is evil, that wanting wealth is sinful, that poverty is somehow noble and spiritual. These are lies, lies that have kept millions imprisoned in lack and limitation. Money is not evil. Money is a symbol of exchange, of energy, of God's abundance in form. The Bible does not say that money is the root of all evil. It says in 1 Timothy 6 verse 10 that the love of money is the root of all evil, meaning the worship of money above all else, the willingness to harm others to acquire it, the placing of material wealth above spiritual truth. But money itself, used rightly, is a blessing. It feeds the hungry. It shelters the homeless. It educates children. It heals the sick. It builds churches and hospitals and schools. When you desire wealth with a right motive, you are desiring an extension of God's goodness. When you wish to prosper so that you may live fully, give generously, and express the talents God has placed within you, you are in alignment with divine will. There is no virtue in poverty. There is no spirituality in lack. Jesus came that you might have life, and have it more abundantly, as John 10 verse 10 proclaims. Napoleon Hill, whose work Think and Grow Rich has transformed millions of lives, spoke of the importance of burning desire backed by faith. He interviewed the most successful people of his era and found a common thread among them. They all held a vivid picture of their goal in their mind, they believed absolutely that they could achieve it, and they persisted until they did. This is nothing other than the Bible code applied to material success. Carl Jung, the great psychologist, understood the power of the unconscious mind, what we call the subconscious, perhaps better than any scientist of his time. He recognized that beneath the surface of conscious awareness lies a vast realm of power, wisdom, and creative energy. He said that until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. This is precisely what the Bible teaches. When you fail to impress your subconscious with thoughts of abundance, it defaults to whatever programming you received in childhood, from society, from your fears and doubts. And that programming manifests as your so-called fate. But you can change your fate tonight. You can rewrite the script of your life. You can plant new seeds and harvest a new destiny. Here is what I want you to do. Before you close your eyes to sleep tonight, take a few moments to become still. Relax your body. Quiet your mind. Then speak to your subconscious with authority and love, as a king speaks to a faithful servant. Say these words, feeling their truth. I am one with the infinite source of all supply. Wealth flows to me from expected and unexpected channels. I am prosperous, healthy, and happy. I give thanks for the abundance that is mine now. Say these words slowly, with feeling, allowing them to sink deep into your subconscious. Then picture yourself as you would be if you had all the money you need. See yourself paying bills with ease, living in the home of your dreams, traveling where you wish, giving generously to those in need. Feel the joy, the freedom, the gratitude. Fall asleep in this feeling. When you awaken, carry this feeling with you throughout the day. Do not allow doubts and fears to contradict your new programming. When negative thoughts arise, gently replace them with affirmations of truth. Remember, you are planting seeds. Every thought is a seed. Guard your garden well. The Bible code to receiving endless dollars is not complicated. It is simple, though not always easy. It requires discipline. It requires faith. It requires persistence. But the rewards are beyond anything you can imagine. You are not meant to struggle. You are not meant to suffer lack. You are a child of the King, heir to all the treasures of the kingdom. Claim your inheritance now. Not tomorrow. Not someday. Now. The power is within you. The law is on your side. The God of infinite abundance is waiting to pour blessings upon you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, as Luke 6 verse 38 promises. You are worthy. You are ready. You are blessed. Never forget that the infinite dwells within you at this very moment. It is closer to you than your own breath. It knows no lack, no limitation, no impossibility. As you align your conscious thoughts with its eternal truth, as you impress upon your subconscious the reality of your prosperity, you step into the flow of endless abundance that has always been your divine birthright. The law of the subconscious mind is impersonal. It does not judge. It does not discriminate. It does not decide whether your request is worthy or unworthy. It simply responds to the impressions you give it with the same faithfulness that the soil responds to the seed. Plant corn, and you will harvest corn. Plant wheat, and you will harvest wheat. Plant thoughts of abundance, and you will harvest abundance. Plant thoughts of lack, and lack is what shall appear in every corner of your existence. This impersonal nature of the law is both a warning and a promise. It is a warning because it means that negative thoughts, fears, and doubts are just as creative as positive ones. When you dwell upon poverty, when you speak words of limitation, when you feel the heaviness of not having enough, you are impressing these ideas upon your subconscious, and it must bring forth their equivalent in your outer world. But it is also a promise, a glorious promise, because it means that when you change your inner conversation, when you redirect your mental energy toward wealth and plenty, the subconscious must respond accordingly. It cannot do otherwise. It is the law. Consider the story of the prodigal son, one of the most profound parables Jesus ever taught. The younger son demanded his inheritance, left his father's house, and squandered everything in reckless living. He ended up in lack so severe that he longed to eat the food given to pigs. But then, the scripture says, he came to himself. He remembered who he was. He remembered whose son he was. And he returned to his father's house, where he was welcomed with open arms, dressed in the finest robe, and given a ring for his finger and a feast in his honor. This parable is not merely a story about a wayward boy. It is a teaching about you and your relationship with the infinite. The Father's house represents the consciousness of abundance, the awareness of your divine inheritance. The far country represents the state of mind that believes in lack, in separation, in limitation. When you dwell in thoughts of poverty, you are in the far country, feeding on husks that can never satisfy. But the moment you come to yourself, the moment you remember that you are a child of the Most High, the moment you turn your mind back to the truth of infinite supply, you are welcomed back into the kingdom of prosperity with more blessings than you had before. The father in the parable did not punish the son. He did not lecture him or make him earn his way back. He simply rejoiced that his son had returned. This is how the infinite responds to you when you align yourself with truth. There is no condemnation. There is no penance required. There is only love, only abundance, only the restoration of all that you thought you had lost. I have witnessed this principle operate countless times in my years of teaching. There was a man, a salesman, who had fallen into deep financial trouble. His commissions had dried up, his savings were gone, and he was facing the loss of his home. He came to me in desperation, asking what he could do. I told him that his first task was not to find more clients or work longer hours, though those might come later. His first task was to change his consciousness. I instructed him to stop speaking words of lack and failure. I told him to cease the mental rehearsal of disaster that was playing in his mind day and night. Instead, I gave him an affirmation to repeat with conviction: I am a channel for divine abundance. Wealth flows to me easily and effortlessly. I am grateful for the riches that are mine now. He was resistant at first. He said, "But how can I say I am wealthy when my bank account is empty? Is that not a lie?" I explained to him that he was not lying. He was speaking the truth of his divine nature, which is always abundant. The empty bank account was a temporary condition, a reflection of past thinking. By speaking the word of truth, he was planting new seeds that would produce a new harvest. The seen comes from the unseen. The outer follows the inner. This is the order of creation. He committed himself to this practice. Every morning and every night, he repeated his affirmation with feeling. He visualized himself as a successful, prosperous man. He gave thanks in advance for the wealth that was on its way. Within weeks, something shifted. He received a call from a former client who had a major project and wanted him specifically. That one contract paid more than he had earned in the previous year. More opportunities followed, one after another, as if a dam had broken and abundance was flooding into his life. Was this coincidence? There are no coincidences in a universe governed by law. He had changed his consciousness, and his outer world had no choice but to reflect that change. This is the Bible code at work. This is the secret hidden in plain sight throughout Scripture. When Isaiah declared in chapter 55, "Seek ye the Lord while he may be found, call ye upon him while he is near," he was teaching the practice of turning within, of seeking the presence of the infinite in the silence of your own mind. When you seek this presence with a sincere heart, when you ask believing, you activate the law of correspondence, and your outer world begins to mirror your inner realization. Florence Scovel Shinn often spoke of the word as a form of creative power. She taught that your words are your wands, and with them you create the conditions of your life. This is biblical truth. Proverbs 18 verse 21 states, "Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof." Every time you speak poverty, you curse yourself. Every time you speak abundance, you bless yourself. Choose your words as carefully as a gardener chooses seeds, for you shall surely eat the fruit of what you plant. Do not wait until your circumstances change to begin speaking words of power. The change must begin in your mind and mouth first. The outer world is an effect, not a cause. If you wait for the effect to change before you change the cause, you shall wait forever, trapped in a cycle of reaction rather than creation. Neville Goddard taught a technique that aligns perfectly with the Bible code. He instructed his students to create a mental scene that implies the fulfillment of their desire and to enter into that scene as if it were happening now. He called this sleeping in the wish fulfilled. If your desire is wealth, you might imagine lying in a beautiful bed in the home of your dreams, feeling the fine linens, hearing the peaceful silence of your prosperous life. You would not merely observe this scene as a spectator, you would feel yourself within it, experiencing it from the first-person perspective. This technique works because the subconscious mind does not distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and an actual one. When you impress upon it the feeling of wealth already attained, it accepts this as reality and begins to organize circumstances, people, and events to externalize that inner state. This is why Jesus said in John 14 verse 2, "In my Father's house are many mansions, if it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you." The mansions are states of consciousness. When you enter the mansion of wealth in your imagination, you are preparing a place in your subconscious for that reality to manifest. The Bible also speaks of tithing as a principle of prosperity. Malachi 3 verse 10 declares, "Bring ye all the tithes into the storehouse, that there may be meat in mine house, and prove me now herewith, saith the Lord of hosts, if I will not open you the windows of heaven, and pour you out a blessing, that there shall not be room enough to receive it." Tithing, rightly understood, is not merely a religious obligation. It is a demonstration of faith in abundance. When you give freely, without fear, you are declaring to your subconscious that you trust in infinite supply. You are breaking the grip of scarcity thinking. You are aligning yourself with the flow of universal generosity. And the Lord responds by opening the windows of heaven, by returning to you multiplied blessings from sources you could never have predicted. Give, and it shall be given unto you, as Luke 6 verse 38 promises, good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. This is not mere poetry. This is spiritual mathematics. The universe operates on the principle of circulation. Money is meant to flow, not to be hoarded. When you dam a river, it becomes stagnant. When you release it, it flows freely and brings life wherever it goes. Your wealth is the same. Let it circulate, and watch how it returns to you multiplied. But giving must be done with the right consciousness. If you give grudgingly, out of guilt or fear, you negate the blessing. Give joyfully, generously, knowing that you cannot outgive God. Give as an expression of your abundance, not as a sacrifice from your lack. This is the spirit of prosperous giving, and it never fails to bring returns. I want to speak now about the obstacle that stops more people from receiving wealth than any other, the feeling of unworthiness. So many people, in the secret chambers of their hearts, believe they do not deserve to be rich. They carry guilt, shame, memories of past failures, and these form a barrier that blocks the flow of abundance into their lives. If this is you, hear me clearly, you are worthy of all the good that life has to offer. Not because of anything you have done or failed to do, but because you are a child of the infinite. Your worthiness is not earned. It is given. It is your birthright. The sun does not ask whether you deserve its warmth before shining upon you. The air does not withhold itself until you prove yourself worthy of breathing. These are gifts of existence, and so is abundance. Romans 8 verse 17 states, "And if children, then heirs, heirs of God, and joint heirs with Christ." You are an heir. You inherit not because you have earned it but because you belong to the divine family. Accept this truth. Let it penetrate every cell of your being. You are worthy. You are deserving. You are meant to prosper. Carl Jung spoke of the shadow, those parts of ourselves we have rejected and pushed into the unconscious. Often, our feelings of unworthiness dwell in this shadow, hidden from our conscious awareness but still influencing our lives. The work of spiritual growth includes bringing these shadows into the light, acknowledging them without judgment, and releasing them to the healing power of truth. When you catch yourself thinking that you do not deserve wealth, do not suppress the thought. Instead, acknowledge it gently and then replace it with truth. Say to yourself, I now release all feelings of unworthiness. I accept my divine inheritance of abundance. I am worthy because I am a creation of the Most High. This is not denial, it is transformation. You are not pretending the old belief does not exist. You are consciously choosing a new belief to take its place. Persistence is essential on this path. Do not expect overnight miracles, though they sometimes occur. More often, the manifestation of wealth is a process, a gradual unfolding as your consciousness shifts and stabilizes in the new pattern. Jesus spoke of the mustard seed, the smallest of seeds, which grows into a great tree. Your faith may begin small, but as you nurture it daily with affirmation, visualization, and gratitude, it grows into an unshakable conviction that moves mountains. Do not be discouraged by appearances. The outer world always lags behind the inner change. There is a period of gestation, a time when the seed is germinating beneath the soil, invisible to the eye but very much alive. Trust the process. Keep planting. Keep watering. Keep believing. The harvest is certain for those who do not give up. Napoleon Hill wrote that every adversity, every failure, every heartache carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. This is a profound truth. If you have experienced financial setbacks, do not view them as evidence that you are cursed or unlucky. View them as part of your education, as opportunities to develop the consciousness of wealth that will sustain you forever. The temporary loss is nothing compared to the permanent gain of understanding and applying the law. I recall a woman who lost her business in an economic downturn. She was devastated, convinced that all her years of work had been for nothing. But as we worked together, she began to see that the loss was redirecting her toward something greater. She discovered talents she had neglected, passions she had ignored. Within 2 years, she had built a new enterprise that not only exceeded her previous success but brought her far greater joy. The setback was the setup for her comeback. Trust the divine plan for your life. The infinite sees further than you can see. It knows the shortest path to your good, even when that path seems to lead through difficulty. Your job is not to dictate how your abundance should come. Your job is to maintain the consciousness of abundance and let the infinite work out the details. As Proverbs 3 verses 5-6 instructs, trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Acknowledge the presence of the infinite in every area of your life, especially your finances. Do not compartmentalize, thinking that spiritual laws apply to health or relationships but not to money. The same power that heals your body can prosper your bank account. The same faith that restores your peace of mind can attract wealth beyond your imagining. God is infinite in all directions, and there is no area of life outside the reach of divine law. As you continue on this journey, remember that gratitude is one of your most powerful tools. A grateful heart is a magnet for miracles. When you give thanks for the abundance you have, however small it may seem, you open the door for more abundance to flow in. When you complain about what you lack, you close that door and reinforce the consciousness of scarcity. Begin each day with gratitude. Before you rise from your bed, thank the infinite for the gift of life, for the roof over your head, for the food in your pantry, for the opportunities that await you. Let thankfulness be the first vibration you send into the universe each morning. This sets the tone for your day and aligns you with the frequency of abundance. End each day with gratitude as well. Before you sleep, review your day and find things to appreciate. Even on difficult days, there are blessings to be acknowledged. The more you look for them, the more you find. This practice trains your mind to focus on the good, and what you focus on expands. The Bible code to receiving endless dollars is now in your hands. You have the knowledge. You have the tools. You have the power. What remains is your decision to apply these truths consistently until they become second nature, until abundance is not something you seek but something you are. You are not separate from the source of all wealth. You are one with it. The same divine mind that creates galaxies and sustains the universe is within you right now, ready to manifest every good thing through you and for you. There is no limit to what you can achieve when you align yourself with this infinite power. Go forth with confidence. Speak your words of abundance boldly. Visualize your prosperity with vivid clarity. Feel the joy of your fulfilled desires as if they were already manifest. Give generously, knowing that the universe gives back to you multiplied. Release all feelings of unworthiness and claim your divine inheritance. Trust the process, even when you cannot see the results. Persist with faith until your outer world reflects your inner conviction. The kingdom of heaven is within you, and the treasures of that kingdom are without limit. You are worthy. You are ready. You are blessed beyond measure. The Bible code is not a secret to be hidden. It is a truth to be lived. Live it, starting now, and watch as endless abundance flows into every area of your life. Remember always that you are never alone on this journey. The infinite walks with you, guides you, and provides for you at every step. You are loved with an everlasting love. You are supported by a power that cannot fail. Go forward in peace, in confidence, and in the absolute certainty that your prosperity is assured by the eternal laws of the universe. It is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Receive it now, with open hands and an open heart. The Bible code to receiving endless dollars is yours. And so it is.